Legs are lengthened and apart. Just close your eyes and we'll start with a few breaths. Good. Good. So giving yourself permission to drop in and get a sense of what we call your body sense. Good. Oh, it's not muted. Not muted. Here. Someone's. There we go. Good. All right. I think we are all muted now. Perfect. Good. All right. Ready to roll then, ladies. Excellent. So eyes are closed. Just do a body scan or what we call a rest assess. So awareness is what brings choice, and choice is what brings freedom. So that awareness of what's happening in your body. We say, oh, my groin hurts or my shoulder hurts or I'm having problems in my back. So what we want to start to explore is where we have stuck stress living in your body, and therefore what could be causing some of this pain. It's not always where the pain is. So just noticing your shoulder blades, where your shoulder blades are related to the ground. Ideally, your shoulder blades are flat and wide and nicely evenly weighted to the ground. If you have stuck stress in your shoulder girdle, you might notice that your shoulder blades are tipped back, that the weight of your body is literally tipped to the very top of the shoulder blades. Or you might notice that parts of your bones of your shoulder blades are just poking into the ground. I'm going to have you turn your head slowly to the right and to the left. And just notice if there's any tension in the end range. Bring your head back to center. And then we're going to look to your diaphragm. If there's stuck stress in your diaphragm, it's going to affect your rib cage and the curve of your spine. So just noticing where your curve is in your spine, if you have ideally a low back curve, or if you actually have a whole back curve where the weight of your body runs from your pelvis to the top of your shoulder blades. You really feel like your ribs are lifted up off the mat. That's going to affect your low back. It's going to affect your mid back. It'll also affect your ability to breathe. So take a big breath in and just notice how the breath feels. Is there ease? Is it easy to take a full breath? The third place stuck stress likes to live is in your pelvis. So notice where you're weighted on your pelvis. Do you feel like you have equal weight on two butt cheeks, or do you feel like you're weighted more either on your sacrum or on the towards your tailbone, so that the curve of your spine literally runs from your tailbone all the way back to the top of your shoulder blades? If you have stuck stress in your pelvis, that can cause tension in your low back, in your hips. Also can affect your knees and your ankles. So how your legs leave your body, noticing what we call your masses, the back of your thighs. Ideally, your masses are weighted to the ground, and your spaces, your back of your knees, your joints are off the ground. You'll notice the weight of the back of your thigh or calf, on the mat. And ideally, your toes are pointed to where the wall and the ceiling meet. If you have stuck stress in your pelvis, you might notice that your toes are more pointed towards the two side walls, or they could be pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Taking your focus back to your torso and dividing your body into a left and right, and just noticing if you feel like you have equal weight on both sides of your body. Here, we're looking at how efficiently your body's autopilot is functioning today. If you feel like you've got more weight over to one side of your body over the other, or one leg or arm is longer than the other, then that just is an indication that your autopilot isn't functioning as efficiently as it could be. We're going to take a focused breath in, bend your knee, and as you exhale, roll onto your side and bring yourself up to a seated position. We're going to start with the rebalance sequence today. So if you only have a performance roller, you're going to take the long harder roller and put it lengthwise on your mat. And then you're going to slide your bottom down to the bottom of your roller. And using your hand on your roller and the other hand on the floor, you just tip your butt up and you sit on the very, very end of the roller with your knees bent and your feet planted. Hands come down to the floor and you're just going to slowly lie yourself back. And then you want to check that your whole body is on the roller. So reach up and just feel with your head and make sure that you're not hanging off the top of the roller. If you are, move down. Placing your elbows, your forearm, and your hands on the floor. And right away, we're going to start with what we call your gentle rocking. So your body is Velcroed to the roller and you're literally rolling with the roller. A common error here is that people will glide laterally. You actually want to roll with the roller. And then when your forearm or elbow catches you, you just head back the other way. We do this for two reasons. One, we want your spine to get used to lying on the roller. And number two, we're working on your body's autopilot, such as that your nervous system understands where your center of gravity is. Bring it back to center. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And you're going to take a slightly longer than normal inhale. And as you do so, you want your belly and then your chest to rise. And then exhale. Allow your hand to draw in under your belly. And again, inhale. Take a slightly longer than normal inhale. Let your belly and then your chest rise. And as you exhale, make your and notice that drawing up and in of your abdomen and the hugging and stabilizing of your spine. Again, inhale, belly rises, then chest. Exhale. And one more time. And exhale. Place both hands on your pelvis, fingers onto your pubic bone. We're going to go into your tuck and your tilt. Now, if you're feeling that you're kind of wobbly a bit on the roller, don't fight it, just allow it. It just is your body's autopilot working for you. As you exhale, you tuck by drawing your pubic bone towards your belly button. Pause here and check, are your glutes relaxed and are you light on your feet? And then through your next exhale, you tilt, which is simply an untuck, where the weight of your pelvis is heavy on the roller, which means you're still light on your feet, but your ribs are heavy. If you're not sure that your ribs are staying still as you tuck and you tilt, you can always place your hands on your rib cage to feel that your ribs are staying still. So what we're after here is that you're able to move your pelvis independent of your ribs. Later, we'll move our rib cage independent of our pelvis. And all of that is important for your back. So where the end you're feeling like your back is tight, just notice how this feels. Does it feel like your pelvic tuck and tilt is smooth? It's quite a discrete movement. It's not very big. But if it feels a little stiff, maybe not so smooth, that's just a sign that there's that stuck stress in your pelvis, which is affecting your low back. Nothing to do or change, just to notice. Now we're going to untuck, and we're going to land somewhere in between the tuck and tilt, which is what we call a neutral pelvis. Place your hands on your ribs. Take your arms straight up, so your arms are more hovered over your rib cage. So notice my arms are angled a little bit towards my butt. So they're not up here over my chest or throat. They're angled here above the ribs. We're going to go into your shoulder blade reach, where you inhale, your shoulder blades draw wide. And as you exhale, let your shoulder blades relax around the roller. So here what there is to notice is if your shoulder blades are moving in equal time and if the movement feels smooth. Here, we're wanting to move your shoulder blade independent of your shoulder joint itself. Now allow your shoulder blades to stay relaxed around the roller. Bend your elbows and place your hands on your shoulders and gently circle through your elbow. Here now, we're wanting to move through the shoulder joint without moving the shoulder blade. So those of you who are having issues in your shoulder, these two moves are really valuable so that you can move your shoulder blades without moving the shoulder joint. And now that you can move your shoulder joint without your shoulder blades. What's important is that there's no snapping, cracking, clicking, popping, or crunching. If there is, slow it down and make the movement a little smaller. Then we're going to bring your hands down to your ribs. Point your fingers to the ceiling, and then with your elbows down, you're going to simply take your arms out. So now your palms are flat, your back of your hand is on the mat. Notice that the arms are angled down a little bit. Following that line, you're simply going to lift your arms above the height of your body. And we want to check here that your bicep is to the ceiling, your elbow is to the floor. Now, this is the tricky part. You want your forearm and palm to the ceiling. So you might have to rotate with the forearm. So your arms are above the height of your body. Your elbows are to the mat. Your forearms are to the ceiling. And picture a giant ball. You're going to reach your arms wide as if you're trying to wrap your arms around this giant ball or a giant full moon. And what we're looking for is that you feel some tensional pull down the deltoid and into the bicep. From here, spread your hands out, spread your fingers wide, and you're going to act like you're tossing and catching a ball in between your hands. And you're going to flex and your fingers each go to the same wall. And then you go the other way. Keeping your arms big. Good. And just breathe in. No cupping of the palm. Keep your hands spread wide. Then hold the arms big. Slowly bring your arms back as if they're holding a package. They're above your ribs. And elevate your shoulders, shoulder blade reach. Notice now, if before your shoulder blades weren't moving in equal timing or felt unsmooth, notice if they move a little bit smoother. Bring your hands down to the mat. Open your hands as wide as the mat. Keep your palms flat and reach your arms long. Open your throat so your nose and eyes are to the ceiling. Gently tilt your head to the left just till 11 o'clock. And reach your right arm long. We're looking for a tensional pull either down the side of your neck, into your deltoid, or down your bicep. If you don't feel much, gently rock your body to the left of your roller, keeping your right arm reaching long. This is called neck turn. Pause, take a focused breath in, and then exhale. Slowly rock your body back to center, turn your head back to center. Turn your head to the right, just to 1 or 2 o'clock. Reach your left arm long, looking for some tensional pull down the left side. If you're not feeling it, gently rock to the right. Pause, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Bring yourself back to center. Straighten your left leg, roll off to the left of your roller, lie down on the floor, and we're just going to check for a moment. Palms to ceiling, close your eyes. And we just want to notice, is there more of you on the mat? Do you feel like your shoulder blades have come down more on the mat? Or your rib cage, if before you felt like your ribs were lifted way up off the mat and you're tipped towards the top of the shoulder blade, do you feel like you've come down a little bit? Such as your curve of your spine is more centered in the low back. If it still feels like your ribs are up a little bit, that's okay. Just notice if they come down more. Also notice if your pelvis is more centered, if you're weighted more on your butt cheeks as opposed to your tailbone. And then just turn your head to the right and left. And if you felt that there are some restrictions in your end range at the beginning, has that eased up? Pause, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Good. So we're going to roll onto your side and push yourself up to a seated position. And we're going to go into lower body compression sequence. So you're going to take your hands behind the roller behind you, and you're going to push yourself up to a seated position. Bring your fingertips in front, and you're just going to rock yourself forward and back on your sits bones. Keep doing that for just a moment. I think my face mask people are here. Hi guys, I just teaching the class. The door is open. Yeah, there's another. It should be unlocked. Just push the handle down. Yeah, there you go. Help yourself. I'm just teaching. So, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
doesn't matter. I think there's going to be a lot of people, so we'll have to figure that out. Yeah. Sorry about that. We're doing our face mask today, and people who've never been here have just arrived to set up. Okay, so we're just rocking forward and back on your sits bones. I might not post this one on live, I don't know, on YouTube. Good. And now we're going to come forward so your sits bones are on the feet side of your roller. You're going to take your hands behind you, fingertips are wide, and you're going to start into what we call your tail triangle glide. So here, we want to be gliding on your sacrum. So we're stopping before your tailbone, and we're stopping just when we get to the top of the sacrum. So the first part, the rebalance sequence, I did that right away just to help get us grounded, but I also did that for those of you dealing with shoulder issues. Now, those of you with back and hip, this one's for you. Of course, everything helps everything. Now, just tip your knees to the right and just swirl around there. And you don't want a lot of load on your upper body. The weight of your body is your pelvis on the roller and you're scooped through your tummy. And then just let your knees swirl around on the other side, getting some hydration up into your sacrum, into your SI joint, and into your low back. Good. Now I'm just going to tilt my knees towards you so you can see me. You can choose if you stay on that side. So I'm on my left hip now. I'm going to take my right hand and place it on my right knee, and then I'm going to let this knee fall out. And now we're going into what we call your deep hip. So that's the area with your piriformis and your gluteus medius. By letting this knee fall, you're able to get a little more into your deep hip. And then you're going to hold that, and we're going to shear by fanning this hip up and down. Good. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in. And exhale. Good. Then we're going to come down onto your form. I'm just going to move down so I'm a little more centered on the screen. So you're going to come down onto your form, just like extends, and you're going to roll onto your side. And now we're in what's called your side hip. So we want to be on your pelvis. So we're above that greater trochanter. So you're on the pelvis. And this is more getting into your glute med, your piriformis, and your gluteus minimus. If you find a spot that feels a little tender, you're just going to bump up against it. Because remember what we want to do when we find a point that has tenderness is rather than barreling over top of it, we want to press against it. So we're moving that stuck stress out. Keep this leg straight, and then you're going to roll forward and back over your hip. Good. And then we wait. We take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. So then we can just roll off of there just for shoulder safety, and then bring yourself back up, and we're going to go into our deep hip on the other side. So again, you want to land with your sits bones on the feet side of your roller. You come over to your side here, let this hip drop down, and you just swirl around. So you really want to be getting the whole area in your deep hip, but also if I were to take my hand and fan it out and put it over my whole butt, you want to be swirling around that whole area. And remember, the glide is exploratory and preparatory. So you're looking, and you almost say you hit a spot, and you go, oh, that feels a little bit tender. So then you just want to tighten up your glide by bumping up against it. And then you pause, and we fan this leg up and down, up and down. Good. And then we wait. We take a breath in, give the tissue time to adapt, and exhale. So now we're going to extend this leg, and I'm going to roll onto my side. So now my back is to you. And sometimes it's good to see it from the other side so that you can really see that I'm on my side hip. The glide is when the roller is rolling up and down. If you find a spot that feels a little tender, you want to just tighten up that glide. Good. And then you're going to pause there, and we can either shear by rocking forward and back, or you can do what's called cross friction, where you're pinning the tissue and rubbing. And then you wait. You take a focused breath in and exhale. Then you slide off. Good. So now we're going to go into our passive shear with our hamstrings and calves. And what can be helpful here is when you do the passive shear on the hamstrings, is if your heels are on the floor, not on the mat, so they don't get tripped up on the mat. So move down so that you feel your feet on the floor or carpet, and the roller is going to be right up in the upper hamstring. And then we want to turn the hips in and out. Now with this one, you want your thighs relaxed, you want your legs nice and heavy. And you can either do both legs at one time, or you can do one leg, get one leg out of the way, and you can go out and in. Now, what I like about this is that you can really work, that you can get a bit in the outer hip and the inner at the same time. Just make sure you do both sides. And with mouth, remember, ladies, we want to get in and get out. We only spend about 3 breaths anywhere. You don't need to spend a long time. But then that important part is the weight. We pause, take a focused breath in. It's like when you wring out a sponge, you squeeze it, you hold, and then when you release it, that's when the fill effect comes. So now we're going to move the roller down to middle hamstring, and then we're going to turn out and in. So we want to externally rotate at the hips and internally. The more relaxed your legs are, the heavier they are on the roller. You can do one leg at a time. And you know, guys, I could not sleep last night, and I got up and I did my rebound sequence. I did this. You can spend a long time on your hamstring, just really working through it. So wonderfully relaxing. Make sure you do both legs. And then when I went back to bed, I was able to sleep. So the session we're doing today, if you can't sleep, this, all of it or part of it is really wonderful for just allowing your body to come down. Good. And then you wait, take a breath in and exhale. Good. And then move the roller just to lower hamstring. Make sure it's on the hamstring, not on the joint. And, you know, as I say that, why wait till you can't sleep? Why don't we set ourselves up so we can sleep? And you do this about an hour before you go to bed. And it's really lovely. So we want to drink water before and after we melt. And so it's good to do about an hour before bed so that you have an opportunity to drink about 8 ounces of water and then just empty your bladder. So do both sides if you're doing one at a time. If you've been doing a lot of walking, boy, this has got to feel good. Or if you've been sitting a lot, you've got all the compression on your glutes and hamstrings. This is really delicious. And then you wait. You're going to take a breath in and exhale. Good. So then you're going to move the roller so it's right behind the back of your knee. We are going to do lower IT bend. So from the roller being in the back of your knee, you're going to roll onto your side and you want to prop yourself up onto your elbow. Now we want to get in and get out quick, especially those of you with sore shoulders. So you're going to come up, get this hand down and put your toes down right away. So we want to be hands down, toes down, and then you're just going to start to move. So we want to be gliding here, just the upper 2 inches above your knee. So you can be right on the side. So a lot of people have been saying they're getting tight, sore knees and hips and back from walking so much. So this is getting into the IT band. If that doesn't feel too bad, you can just tilt forward so you're getting a little bit more on the front of the thigh. Good. And then from here, you're just going to let your hip come down. You're going to lie down on your side. You're going to flex your feet, squeeze your knees together, and just march your legs. So you can do this as a shear, or you can hold your legs straight in together. But remember, you want any tenderness to be tolerable. And there is a lot of stress here on people. So make sure that you choose whatever method feels good. And then you wait. Take a breath in and exhale. Good. And then you roll onto your back. So the roller is behind the back of your knee. You're going to come up onto your forearm. And now in one fell swoop, you want to lift your hips, get this front head down and get your toes down. And then just start gliding. So notice here, I'm using my feet to help me. And I'm using both arms and my core. So I don't have a lot of load on the shoulder because I have so many other points of support. And then to come down for your shear, you just slowly let your hip come down. You lie down on your side, you flex your feet, pin your knees together, and then you're just going to do a little march of your knees. Or you could roll forward and back.
And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. Then we're gonna roll onto our back, and then I'm gonna take the roller out and I'm gonna roll onto this side so that you can see me. Bring the roller up. So if you're using your performance roller now, I never did transition those of you with a half roller. Hopefully you've got the melt roller after all that. So you're gonna bring the roller up so it's more lined up with your torso, and then you're gonna take your arm, straighten the arm out so that gets the roller away from you, and then tilt the bottom of the roller towards you. So that's really important that the bottom of the roller is there. Then you're gonna bring this leg on so that your knee is resting on the roller. And then you're gonna straighten this leg so your toe comes down, and the roller would automatically move just above your knee. And then with this hand flat, you wanna move your shoulders, your ribs, and your pelvis together. So I'm using this arm. What I don't wanna do is move my hip and shear my low back. You wanna move your shoulder, your rib, and your pelvis together. And you're just rolling on your inner thigh, just in the 2 inches above your knee. If you don't feel much going on there, you can also turn and explore the front of your thigh a little bit so you can play. And then we wait, so you can flex your foot and you can either bend and straighten your knee, or you can lower and lift your heel. Choose whichever shear is tolerable for you. And then you wait, take a breath and exhale. Good. Then you're going to bring the roller more to your mid-inner thigh. The toe is down. Use this arm and move your shoulder, your ribs, and your pelvis all in equal time together. Good. So remember, the heavier your leg is, the more relaxed, the more you're able to get deeper into the tissue. And then just tighten up the glide. Once you find a spot, bump up against it. And then you're going to pause there, flex your foot. You can either bend and straighten your knee. You can lower and lift your heel. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. Then you're going to move the roller right up into the groin. Now, you've got a couple of options here. One, you can do the same thing. Let the leg be heavy. If you're finding it's hard to get in there, you can come up onto your forearms here and you can glide side to side using your forearms to get, you want to try and get right up into the groin. Depending on what's going on for you, lying down might be fine. You might be able to get into whatever spots are needed for you. You doing okay there, Kelly? All right. So then you lie down and you have a choice. You can lower and lift your heel, internal, externally rotating your hip, or keep your legs straight and you can do your cross friction. You're pinning the tissue and shearing what's underneath. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. Now you can roll onto your other side just so you can see me. I'm going to pivot so that I'm continuing to face you. So lying on your side, bring the roller so it's more in line with your torso. And then straighten your arm to move the roller out, and then you're going to tilt the bottom of the roller towards you. Then you're going to bring your leg up so your knee lands on top of the roller, and then you're going to straighten your leg out so your toe is down, and the roller will move just above your knee. Using this hand, you're going to start your glide where you're moving your shoulder, ribs, and pelvis all together so that your spine is staying nicely supported. Find a spot, tighten it up. Good. And then you pause. You can flex your foot, bend and straighten your knee. You can lift and lower your heel. Good. And then you wait. Good. All right. So then move the roller to the mid of the inner thigh and then place your hand down. Toe is down. Nice relaxed leg. And just start gliding. So whenever we glide, the roller is moving and you're moving over the roller. Super. And then we're going to pause. We're going to flex your foot, bend and straighten your knee, or lower and lift your heel. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Then move the roller right up into the inner thigh. You can either stay on your side and work from there, or you can come up onto your forearm. Make sure the pelvis comes up. You don't want to be sagging. You want to lift through your abdominals. You're using the support and stability of your shoulder girdle and your core to help you here. Good. Feel it, play with it. Tighten up the glide. And then you lie down. And I like to hold the roller because I like the cross friction, or you can be moving internally and externally rotating in the hip. And then the most important part of the shear is the pause. You wait, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Good. So now we're going to go down to our calves. So we're going to lie on your back, and you're going to bring the roller underneath your calf. The important thing when you're working through your calves is that your feet stay relaxed. So we can start with both legs. And all you're doing is it's like someone's got you the fabric just on your knees, and your knees are just folding and unfolding. Your feet stay relaxed. As the roller comes towards you, you want to think of pressing into the front part of the roller, and then as the roller goes away, into the top of the roller. If you're not feeling much there, you can explore. Turn the feet out, so you're on the outer part of the calf. You can turn in, you're on the inner part of the calf. If you're really tender, this probably feels good. If you're not too bad, you can cross your left leg over, and so now you've got more load on the calf, keeping the feet relaxed, and then again, go exploring. Now, if you've got issues in your hip, you might be noticing your calves are really tender. So people are saying, hey, I have foot and ankle, plantar fasciitis, Achilles issue, or hip issues. You've got to be checking your calves. And then just pick a spot, tighten up the wiggle. Check your feet, are they relaxed? And then pause and circle your ankle. Good. There's your shear. And then you take a breath and exhale. And then just move the roller down a little bit. So if you're doing both legs together, then you're just going to keep doing both legs and keep exploring and gliding in different parts. You're doing one at a time. We're going to quicken it up a little here because we have the other side. Find a spot, tighten up the glide, just bumping up against whatever points of tenderness there are. And then you circle. Good. 3 breaths, it's enough. Don't be on a spot thinking that you keep rolling it, and that the tenderness is going to go away. The healing happens after. Good. We simply want to bring down more fluid to the area, more blood flow to the area. You take a breath and exhale. Good. And then let's do the other calf. So you're going to move the roller out more to the thick part of the calf. Relax your feet, cross one your foot over the other, and then just start exploring in your glide. So you might find if some spot feels like really, really tender, don't go there, work around it. We always go from distal to proximal. So if someone's got a really sore shoulder and doing all this upper body stuff, but we could get to hurts, then we say start with your lower body, because we are bringing hydration and fluid to the whole parts of our system. And then you're going to pause there and circle your ankle. And then you wait, take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. And then move the roller down just a little bit, relax your feet, and then just go into your glide and exploring. I always make sure as a runner that I do my calves, because I know it keeps my feet healthy, it keeps my hips healthy. Good. And then circle your ankle. And then you pause, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Good job. All right. So pushing yourself up to a seated position. We're going to do a manual rinse. And so after you glide into your rinsing is the next principle. If you haven't done our initial melt workshop, when we come back to being together, I encourage you to do our intro to melt so you understand the terminology. But what we're going to do now is rinse. So we're going to rinse the calves with the hand. What we do is we go up the front and down the back, up the front, down the back. Then we can do the hamstrings as well, where we go up the front of the thigh, down the back, up the front, down the back. Good. So there's a way that we rinse using the roller, but I just want to show you the manual one so that next time when we do the roller, you know that this is a good option for you. Up the front and down the back. Good. And then we do the other side, up the front. So the flow of fluid in your body, if you know about the flow of energy, if you've ever studied chakras, the flow of energy goes up the front and down the back. So when we are rinsing, we want to go with the flow, right? Go with the flow. We want to work with how the flow of energy and the fluid moves. Good. And then we do up the front, down the back, up the front, down the back. So what did we just do? We just did a whole wonderful lower body compression sequence. We worked through your SI joint. We did your tail triangle glide. We worked in your hips. Good. So bringing lots of hydration. Hopefully your low back and your hips are feeling good now. We did hamstrings, inner thigh, lower IT band, and calves. Wow, that was a big step. Perfect. Okay. So now I just want to do a little upper body compression because this is really good for people that are feeling icky in their shoulders or in their upper back or neck. So we're just going to come here and start with the roller. Just at the bottom part of your shoulder blade. So you can just sort of reach up and punch. If you have a hoodie, just put it on your head or tuck it in because you'll run into problems there. And then we're going to establish stability in the pelvis here in the core. So you're going to lift your pelvis, you're going to tap and place your pelvis down. So now we want to keep the pelvis stable and move just the rib cage. So you're going to take your hands behind your head, let your head relax into your hand. We're just going to go into your rib like facet. So you're just lengthening the ribs. I'm not arching back over the roller like this. I just want to see what length is available. Then stay there and just do a little side bend to your right and breathe into your left rib cage. And just notice if there feels like there's any restriction. And then come back to center. And then side bend over to the left. And same thing, just breathe into that and notice if there's any restriction. And come back to center. Then, using your feet, lift your pelvis. You're going to glide the roller so it's at the top of your shoulder blades. And you want to start to glide just the upper 2 inches of the shoulder blade. So I'm using my feet. My pelvis is just hovered off the mat. And I want to focus on pressing into the front of the roller. So notice that I'm looking slightly ahead. And then you're going to place your pelvis down and we're just going to tear side to side. Little twisting action. Make sure that you're keeping your head relaxed, that you're not pulling on your head. And then you're going to pause there, take a focused breath in, and exhale. Then move to the middle part of your shoulder blades, reset your feet, and you're just going to glide up and down the middle part of the shoulder blade. Again, you want to be pressing into the front part of the roller as you glide up and down. Good. And then you're going to lower your pelvis down and go into your shear, your twisting action. And then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. And then you're going to lift your hips and go into the lower part of the shoulder blades. As you're gliding, you want to reach your elbows to where the wall and the ceiling meet, which pulls your shoulder blades a little bit. So you're more gliding and working in between, in the tissue between your spine and the shoulder blades. And then you're going to place your pelvis down and then just go into your twisting action right there. Good. And then you're going to pause there, take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. Now reach your right elbow to the ceiling, which is just going to tip you a little bit over to the left. And we're going to glide up and down the whole part of the inside of your left shoulder blade. So here, this is really important if you do have some shoulder issues, that we keep the tissue underneath your shoulder blade really hydrated, because a lot of shoulder issues come when we get tight in the thoracic spine and the shoulder blade adheres to the tissue underneath. So this is brilliant for that. And then you're gonna place your pelvis down and just fan your elbow open and close. Good, and then you wait. You take a focused breath in and exhale. Good, and then we go over to the other side. So now you're just gonna reach your left elbow to the ceiling, lift your hips, and you're gonna glide up and down the whole part of the inside of your shoulder blade. You find something that feels tender, bump up against it. And then you'll place your pelvis down and fan your elbow open and closed. Good, and then you wait. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Good. And then just come back to center, and we're just going to do a rib length reassess. So just have the shoulder blades at the bottom of the shoulder blades of the roller. Take your hands behind your head, lift your hips, tuck your pelvis, and place your pelvis down. Now pause there, take a breath in, and as you exhale, just lengthen your rib cage. And notice if you have any more length available to you here. And then you're just going to side bend to one side and just breathe into your left rib. And just notice there how your left rib cage feels. And then come back to center. And then side bend the other way and take another breath. And just notice how that rib feels. And exhale to bring it up. Good. And then I just want to rinse. So we're going to rinse the back. So what's going to happen here is we're going to take the roller and we're going to slide it so it's at the top of our shoulder blades. You're going to lift your pelvis. And you want to press like you're steamrolling your back. Press the roller all the way down to the lower ribs. You'll stop when your butt comes down and your legs basically straighten up. And then you just quickly slide down to the top of your shoulder blades. Reset your feet, lift your pelvis, press the back against the roller. Good. Remember the flow of energy goes up the front, down the back. So that's what we're doing here is we're moving down the back and release. Good. And then come all the way up. So let's just lie down on your back and let's see where we're at. So straighten your legs, palms to ceiling, close your eyes, and just feel the warmth, the flow of energy in your back. Turn your head to the right and left and just notice if your neck feels better than it did when we started. Bring your body back to center. Notice, is there more of you on the mat? You notice your shoulder blades are more on the mat and your ribs are down. Instead of a whole back curve, there's a low back curve. And if you're weighted on two fluffy butt cheeks, divide your body into a left and right. And if before you felt like you were more heavy weighted from one side to the other, just notice here if you feel like you're more even. Take a focused breath in and exhale. Bend your knees, roll over to your side and up to a seated position. Good. And we will check in and see how we did. I'm going to unmute you. Perfect. Wonderful. Good. All right. How are we doing?